So part of what I was saying is that some of the information, there are a lot of women that are struggling. They really are on the struggle bus. Um, and not in the usual, it's okay, what we're accustomed to with the financial challenges. These are women that are, and from what I gathered from what I was reading today in some of these rooms, that women are struggling because they want to be faithful to their husbands. They don't want to cheat. They don't want to leave necessarily. There was one person whose husband, boyfriend was extremely abusive. He was, he was struggling with the impotence or the erectile dysfunction, is what we call it now. Um, but he was vicious to her.
Wow.
And those are some of the things that we don't talk about. We don't talk about the impacts that it has, that a man's ED or impotence, or I don't know, impotence just sounds so hard,
Yeah, it does. It sounds
It's,
like it's the person's fault, whereas ED is, it's a medical condition.
it
You know,
is, it
condition.
is.
Yeah.
And you want to know what's crazy about this, Karen? Is
Hmm.
that one of the things that people don't talk about, and I was going to put a post up about this today, was really conflicted, is that 30 ED is not something that necessarily impacts men that are over 40 or over 50. There are men that are in their 30s that can be, I don't want to say afflicted, but can be affected by
Yeah.
ED as well.
Yeah.
But here's the crazy part: most men, about 50% of men, once they get into their 50s, will be impacted by ED, either because of alcohol consumption,
Right.
because of sugar diet consumption, because of stress. What was the other one that I wrote down?
Medication. Certain medications can cause
Sure,
that.
sure, you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the medications that people are taking.
Right.
So it's not just an old man thing.
Right.
It's not just because you had prostate cancer
Mhm.
and you had the surgery. Yes, that will. When I was at with the gentleman from the Georgia Prostate Coalition, one of the things I did an event with them, and one of the things that one of the speakers said is that many men and women do not realize that once they cut into that prostate, it may not ever get back to what it was before.
Wow.
So, while, and it made me think about when my dad had cancer, it wasn't that, but we were like, do whatever you can because we want to keep him. And
Mhm.
then there's the after surgery part of the show that people really don't um, deal with as much. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some possible solutions. I had one or two people. Someone said, if I come on, I'm going to be anonymous. I'm like, that's fine. I want to know how you're going to be anonymous on Instagram, but hey,
Right.
um,
It's
it's
about sharing the information, right? Sharing the knowledge.
exactly, exactly. I have a friend, someone who's a friend of the show, and they were saying I remember when when their guy got diagnosed with prostate cancer in his 40s, in his mid 40s.
Mhm, mhm.
That's not what you expect. And as a result of that, he had the surgery. And fortunately, he's recovered and they still have a robust sex life, which is, kudos to them. And that's great. But um, a lot of men don't have that recovery. Um, there are some people, some men who are struggling, another set of men who have injuries like paralysis, certain measures of paralysis. Some men who become paralyzed will retain that above, they may have lost their function of their legs, but they still maintain their penis.
Mhm.
And I remember Elliot saying, well, the last time he visited with us, that as long as you have blood flow into the penis,
Mhm.
there are solutions for you that are not medicinal and not surgical and some of the other things. So,
Wow.
what have you ever dated anybody who who was taking medication for ED?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, that's at the time, and I didn't know um, as much about ED. of course, as I do now, because this person was, in their early 40s,
Uh-huh.
and they were taking, high cholesterol medicine, and we're thinking, okay, but found out the hard way that it affects,
Mhm.
the ability to maintain an erection. So we went back to the doctor. I guess this was something, one of the side effects the physician had neglected to let him know, and
Mm.
because some men are defined by their penis. It's like,
Yep, the penis power.
me, how you doing? Penis here,
Brick hard. There
Yeah,
you go, brick
yeah.
hard.
And man, if something happens to that, it's like life is over. Like you said, the one guy said, I don't even want to be married anymore.
Yeah.
And it comes from that fear, of my wife's gonna leave me, or, I am no longer a man. And none of that is true,
Yeah.
so
Good. But
yeah.
but is that, and I wonder, is that an American thing? Is that a part of our culture that men define their manliness or their manhood by the, I guess there was something I was reading in another room that people said, some of the men were saying that they wonder if it shows on the external that they are not able to please their wives
Well, you
or
know what?
their women.
I look at it like this, because universally, if you look at the world, you know, men are fascinated with their own penises. Okay, they got buildings created, and songs and artwork, and there's wars over
The
it. So
Eiffel
I don't
Tower
think
is
it's an
very
American
phallic.
thing. I think it's God. Say before another show, but I'm so glad I don't have one of those things, because I'd be walking around like I'd be horrible, man. I'd be a horrible man. Look at my penis. I'd be terrible. But I think it's just, I think because of in America, our society, and we have such a free society that we can be more open about it, But I mean, over even, well, what I was gonna say, but I don't want to get in trouble. But I just think it's not just an American thing,
Yeah,
as far as
I agree with
men
you.
defining themselves and men considering it's all about the penis, big, little. Look at
Yep.
David. Michelangelo's David. He tiny,
Yeah,
tiny
that's
little
true.
thing, but he sure showed it
Teeny
off.
tiny.
Yeah, he's
Mhm.
really tiny, but he showed
But
it off
felt
still.
good about it.
Michelangelo liked it.
That that's a whole nother show too. Um, one of the things before I we start talking about some of the possible solution types of things, um, I really want to talk to, and I hope there are some men that see this as well as some women that see this. Um, I Full disclosure, I dated somebody years ago who was in his 50s when we were together. It was like there was a big gap in our ages. And he was not very well endowed. So I knew that kind of going in the door. And I was like, yeah, I'm a size queen. Sorry. Uh, and when he lost what he had in terms of that, it became a different type of conversation, different type of relationship. um, Instagram, I'm going to let you guys go because we're getting to that part of the show where it's starting to get a little more explicit. So I'm going to let you guys go. We're going to be hanging out over on Instagram, getting more into the meat, wink, wink, of the conversation. And come find us, come join us on Wink, Blink, Flirt to pick up the rest of the live. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. So, his, okay, more meat.
Okay.
Meat.
Getting down to it, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Um, so fundamentally, I remember at one point I said to him in my with my 30-year-old self, I said, "You're going to have to do better than this because this is
Wow.
sex has been more really important to me pretty much all my life." And I remember saying to him, "I can't. this first of all, he was kind of a little bit of a minute man anyway, but for him to have been a minute man and to be not even giving me that 3 to 4 minutes was like, yo. And I remember him taking Viagra, and
Mm.
it was and he took it, and he says, "Oh, it gives me a headache," um, and he says, "I think this is running my blood pressure up."
Yeah.
And I was like, so I really applaud. I was really frustrated, really annoyed, but and well, because he wasn't my husband either, that was kind of like a I don't have to stay with this. But there are women. I remember seeing something in this group I was in. There's some women who've been with men for 2 years, 3 years, 12 years, 20 years without having any kind of sex. And while, Toy Talks After Dark is about toys, there
Mhm.
is something to be said for the touch, for the and the weight of a man on you while he's making love to you. There's something that you can't get that from a toy. I mean, I'm 100% for toys. There are a lot of wonderful toys. There are toys and there are replicas and things like that, but it's not that
Right. It's
that
no
kind of
intimacy.
exactly when
Intimacy with the toy. Yeah.
exactly. It's like that when a man enters you, it's a different kind of feel
Absolutely.
than when you are manipulating a toy. I don't care how we progress with the
Right.
construction of it. It's still not the same. And I'm
Right.
being real transparent. I'm not being fugazi in any kind of way. This is real talk.
Mhm.
And for the women who have been in these relationships and they're like, it's okay, but it's kind of not. So a lot of these women are, and I get it, they're trying to figure out how to keep this man lifted
Right.
up,
Right.
and how to make sure they're pleased. And what was interesting to me is how people there are a couple of solutions. I'm going to kind of start segue into some of the solutions. Um, didn't want them to have it. And to me, that just seemed really odd that everyone was comfortable with the notion of taking pills. Like I don't know if you've heard about Yohimbe,
Mm.
and
Okay.
Yohimbe is a natural herb that a lot of men, it's supposed to be an aphrodisiac, and it comes out of, it's a herb that was initially came out of Africa, that people were using that.
Okay.
I remember when I was dating this man, he was taking Jamaican woodroot tonic as well, and that was supposed to be something that helped to give you more vitality. There's some people who subscribe to also taking sea moss as a way of kind of fortifying or getting, as people say, getting brick hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Um, One of the things that I had put together in terms of, and I'll throw that up on the site, is there are a number of different tools. Like I had mentioned to this woman today, she says her husband's penis does not get hard at all. It just flat as, after he's urinated. And I said to her, if you wash him up, put him in the bathroom, wash him up, flip him up, scrub him down, ho
Okay.
ho.
Right.
There's, you want to massage the taint, lick the taint,
Mm.
do, little finger swirl, little tongue swirl, massage it. And if that's not your jam, ladies,
Mhm.
then there are various types of toys that you can use to kind of help with the rimming and the massaging of that taint, and that's that prostate perineum kind of in that area. Don't be afraid of it. Flip him as I don't know if it was this conversation that we had. I was in with Shari, or it was on their podcast. It's like, how
Mhm.
many men have you ever? Let me ask you this: Have you ever flipped those legs back, flip your man's legs back, and commence to just like giving him that kind of taint massage?
Yeah, yes. To answer the question, yes. But let me tell you, it was baby steps. You can't
Uh-huh.
just, like you say,
This is
flip
true.
them over and say, throw your legs up, because most
It's like,
heterosexual men are gonna say, "Wait, what are you doing?" And I don't do that.
mhm.
I don't play that. Now, there are some who will ask you
This
to
is
do
true.
it, and that's
Yep.
and that's a bonus. It's like,
hmm
hey, this is gonna be an interesting, night. But if you've been together with your guy and you've not done that, or not really explored it, take your time, um, and sensually, with the arousal and the foreplay. It can't just, you've got to, just lovingly um, address that area and that type of place. Like I said, especially if you've never done it before. Because that's a new um, arena for a lot of men. You know, they're already thinking that their manhood is at
hmm
stake here, and they don't want anyone to think, especially you, their woman, their closest partner, to think they're anything less than a man. So,
That's interesting.
but
That's
it
interesting.
definitely does work when it definitely does work. But remember, the biggest sex organ is between your ears. So,
True, true, true. It's funny, I didn't even think about that. Like this woman had, when I suggested that, she said, yes, she had tried something like that. And one of the things that I was digging around looking for was there's a product or a couple of products that are prostate stimulating gels.
mhm,
So while that's stimulating and arousing to kind of massage or to lick or to kind of either use your finger or your tongue or one of these toys, um, it's 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 very very very, you really want to warm that up. And that the
yeah,
thing that really kind of came to me is this is really a big intimacy thing
yes,
that and I never really thought about if a man is struggling with his penis, with penis power, or getting being able to have that intimacy with a woman, does that make him in any way shape or form start to kind of question his sexuality? I really wondered that.
yeah.
That's really interesting
That
too.
that is an interesting way to think of it. And we too bad we don't have a guy on here
Yeah,
to
that
give
would have
us
been great to have
that
somebody in.
perspective. But just
Yeah.
like you were saying before, how you were dating the guy whose equipment didn't work, and you were like, oh, wait a minute, hold up, you got to do
Yeah.
something. I think now at this stage of your life, you would be a little bit more caring if you were to come across that again, wouldn't you? You'd be more
She said,
compassionate.
would you? Would you? Actually, actually,
So,
what's really funny about that?
uh,
For real. I I really am. I think about it like this now:
mhm.
that when you are in your 50s, that everybody's stuff is not functioning the way it was 20 years ago.
Amen.
You are not like, I remember being in a place where I was dating someone. He's like, oh, and you know how like our bodies give off certain pheromones. He
Right.
said, he says, I guess you want to have sex. And I was like, well, why would you say that? He goes, I can smell that you want to have sex. And
Wow.
I was like, is it, he says, oh, it's not bad. He says, it's
Okay.
just that
Smell
I
it.
can
Wow.
tell
He had
your
a keen
body is
nose.
a mood, exuding pheromones in a way that I can kind of tell. And I
Okay.
was like, okay, that's odd. And
Mm,
I think that at this age, knowing what I know now, I would definitely be more, much gentler,
mm,
much kinder, much
absolutely.
more understanding and more solution oriented versus you need to fix this
Right.
because
Absolutely.
this is, but it made me very stealth sexually because it's like, I know I got 3 minutes, better get this going this way.
Right.
Um,
Right.
Towards that end,
Mhm.
are things like prostate training kits just like in the same way that there are anal kits, which I, as I was doing some research around, I was like, okay, so if you, like, to your point,
Mm.
somebody may not be that guy to say, I'm going to need you not to put your finger on that key. I'm going to need you not to touch that.
Right. Right.
So I think that if it's a matter of getting him, there's one toy I'm going to put up. It's a kind of a rimmer.
Mm.
Instead of it being a full-on assault, so to speak, it
Okay.
gently kind of moves that and massages that gland in the prostate, and it just kind of loosens that up. There's also like a training kit where there are various lubes that we sell that will help kind of ease things into massage the prostate, as well as something that has there's almost like a, you've seen those I'm trying to think, almost like the Kegel things that it's like ridged and it goes in slowly, 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 almost like an anal trainer.
Okay.
With this, but it has a bullet on the end.
Oh,
So
wow.
he'll feel the sensation. And I'm saying, for women who, if there are women who are into anal play as well,
Right.
that might be something, because that stimulation will cause you to have, I mean, who was it? Sherry or somebody was talking about having like a triple orgasm.
Yes.
So,
Yes. There
you
was.
know,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think this, even as this is what I'm thinking, that even as a man's prostate kind of heals, that is restored in whatever way, because I want to talk about a couple of things with that,
Hmm.
in terms of penis health and how to strengthen that. This is another way for him to have to climax and to have some type of orgasm, instead of just feeling that most men know, straight men know, that the only way that they're going to orgasm is, through ejaculation.
Right. Mm.
But with this can, no pun intended, open new doors to pleasure for them. No pun intended for that.
Absolutely.
Um, One of the other things, another resource that women have, and to consider, there are performance rings. There are two different types of performance rings now, thanks to Elliot's company, and I'm happy and excited that I'm selling them. The first one is the regular um, performance ring, or cock ring as people know them. You put it on, you have to make sure that you're manscaped and that you want to roll that on, and that gives you the erection that you want. But the only challenge with this one is that once you ejaculate, that's it. It's a one and done.
Okay.
Um, I like the old fashioned ones sometimes that are basic, as a way to start off, so that you can kind of get a sense, your guy can get a sense of um, how it works. But here's the trick with this one. The old fashioned ones that roll on, you
Hmm.
can only put them on while you have an erection.
Right. Right.
Okay. And that kind of comes sliding off after he's had an erection.
Hmm.
The You have some of the performance rings that are, I don't want to say mechanical, because it is mechanical, but the ones that are remote. So you can put it on. There's some that are I forget which company it is right now off the top of my head. I want to say it's Womanizer. They have a ring that, if you're in a same sex couple, two men can have it, and it has it, the way it's structured is that it puts vibration on the scrotum. So you have the ring, but it puts the vibration on the scrotum, as well as, if for him and her version, where it vibrates on her clitoris, and for him it vibrates on the scrotum. So even if you're having it, that it allows you to have some kind of sexual stimulation even apart. So that kind of has a hide and go seek effect. I think that's a cool,
Okay.
that would be a cool thing to do. Um, those are two really good things. And then there's some of them that it's just about the man, but it has the shape of it, allows it to stimulate a woman's clitoris or her mons pubis, and it'll give that kind of stimulation there. Um, the other one that I really like, and I'm liking more now, um, the company that we represent, Firm Tech, has now two different performance rings. One is a regular, the red one, which I've shown you before. And then now they have this blue one, which is tighter. Because I don't know if Sherry was saying it on our show or her show.
Okay, right. Our
Excuse me.
show, she was saying
With the veins. So
it's
what I
all
may
about
do
pain for her.
is get her a guy one of those new performance rings that allows for much tighter constriction. And the thing that people don't realize is with these firm tech rings, your erection, you can maintain an erection for a few hours. That
Right.
you have this, your erection, once you've had sex with this, as long as the blood is flowing into your penis, you can have another one and you can leave this particular performance ring on for hours. That's the regular performance ring. What I don't always talk about is the diagnostic ring.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
have you ever had someone with a ring on? I've never.
The old fashioned kind,
The
yes.
roll on?
Yes. So I'm very
Yeah.
interested in trying the one, I think the one that you showed that kind of clipped like
Uh-huh.
that. And I was just
Yep.
going to ask, do they have sizes? Do they have small, medium, and large ones?
They don't because they go with everybody. You can put it
Okay.
around your arm. I've put it around my arm.
Really?
So yeah.
And it
So
stretches.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Um, the new one, which is blue, that
Mhm.
tight one. If you need to see the veins, if you got a vein fetish, that's going to be the one for you.
Fun. Okay.
There is the diagnostic ring, which, as I said, we don't talk about. And the thing that's really interesting, and I've really started getting into this, especially after being with these women in the ED community. Um, now let me ask you this: do you think women will be inclined to um, bring this as like, hey babe, I just found something, why don't you try it?
Or why don't we try it?
Why don't we try it? Because remember,
Yeah.
in the box that pleasure box sent to us, that had one of the whimsical playful ones with the
Right.
bullet on the end.
Right.
So
Absolutely. Yeah.
with this
Absolutely.
one, it doesn't vibrate per se, but it's diagnostic. So if your husband has had lower erections, no pun intended, if his erections have been less, sorry, if his erections have been less frequent, um, or he just hasn't been getting them,
Hmm.
you can get this diagnostic ring, and it becomes like a Fitbit for his penis.
Right. That is cool. Yeah.
you know
Right.
and it's Bluetooth enabled in that he can plug this in and take those results to the doctor.
Hmm.
Now, I was talking to Elliot a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying what's good about that is if he's getting an erection, let's say at night, or he's getting an erection watching porn, but he's not getting an erection with you, it's a you
Right.
thing, you know
Okay.
which sucks, but you know, it's
Mhm.
not a him thing. And I never really thought about the fact that ED is also a mental thing. If
Wow.
if the
Okay.
money's
Right.
funny,
Stress. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah. You're absolutely
finances.
right.
If
Yeah.
if you're worried about getting your car towed, or you're
Right.
worried about your 401k being blown out
Right.
because of the stock market, you're not going to feel. You may feel amorous to a degree, but you
Right.
may not feel as
Right.
you
Again,
know.
their manhood is affected, and we don't talk
it-
about that as much as the kind that's affected by injury or medical condition
Mhm,
or
mhm.
illness. You
Absolutely,
know, yeah, you're
absolutely.
absolutely right. So, wow.
It's really interesting. What I like about this one as well is it will isolate and tell you
Mm,
if it's your medication that's impacting your erection. It'll tell you if it's your alcohol. It'll tell you if it's your diet or your lack of exercise. And
yeah,
I feel like that's pretty cool.
yeah, I
So
agree.
you'll know. So if as a couple that's something that you invest in, you
Right,
now know, hey, I need you, get your ass up on the track. I need you to put that donut down. No, you cannot have any more bourbon, sir. Back away
right.
from the bourbon.
That's the thing. Boy, that alcohol, I didn't realize, just a side note, how detrimental alcohol is having sex. It's like,
No, isn't
whereas
that
with
crazy?
me, it's like, ooh, bring it on. This, I'll have a couple drinks. Some men, they drink and they're like, I'm sorry, I just can't. And it's the alcohol. I'm like, okay, you're
Isn't
right.
that something?
That
Because
is
it
something.
gets you, you think it gets you in the mood, but it
Right.
really is like a mood killer.
It definitely is an erection killer, that's for sure. All of that- But it could be all like, yeah, I'm with you up here. But down here, it's like he's like, I'm asleep, I'm drunk, I'm
I'm tired. I'm going to sleep.
done. You
It's
know,
it's isn't it funny how in your 20s you wish that the guy would cuddle a little more and
yeah,
kind of be there, and then you get into your like 40s and 50s like, yo, bruh, why we cuddling?
right. What's up? Go, come on with
Get,
it.
let's
I
get the
don't want
party
to
started
cuddle.
up in here,
That's right. Isn't that funny? That's funny how we switch.
Exactly, exactly. Um, I think that given the fact that ED is going to impact 30 to 40% of men
Yeah.
in midlife, and definitely half of men in their 50s and
Mm.
up, it's definitely a worthwhile investment, whether you get it for yourself or you get it for the enhancement of your relationship. Now here's the one thing that I do want to say before I start to wind this down,
Okay.
is that these tools, especially if you have had some elevation issues, that it's going to be a good idea to get a lube with that of some sort, so the friction doesn't do anything to deter the the you maintaining that erection. Also, too, that if you're with someone who's been hanging out with you for all this time and you get this glorious performance ring when
Right.
you start performing,
Right.
don't act a donkey, okay?
Hmm.
Make sure have a lube that helps kind of enhance her experience as well, so if she's a little slow to start to warm up, at least you have something there for her as well. And one of the things that I'm doing as a pre-sale order is I am offering the diagnostic ring as well as the performance ring.
Do you have
And
any
I'm
of those with you to show?
uh da 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 da. Yes, I do. Hold tight one second. Let me go and
Okay.
grab my handy box.
Yeah, that way we can get a visual.
Oh, the Karen, you're so good to me.
Yeah, well, some people are like me. I say, I want to see it.
So this is I'm talking your head off here. This is what's going to be different, and this is going to be part of the promo, as a matter of fact. Um, Now, there are different, as we talked about the different rings,
Hmm.
and I said there's some for his pleasure, some for her pleasure, etc. These would be great for somebody who is not really challenged with ED, period. Okay.
They're
These are
just
good, they're
fun.
fun.
Yeah.
Exactly. It will
Mhm.
help um with your orgasm and help pleasuring her. But this, we start to get into this. This is the old fashioned one. It is a roll on. So it's going to go on while you're erect. Make sure that you're manscaped,
Right.
and it's going to help maintain. So as you have the blood flow, it will retain that. Okay, but tends to be a little less than amazingly comfortable. This is, remember I told you it'll go around your arm.
Okay.
So
Mhm.
so if this is what you're working with,
Okay.
we got you.
Oh, 898.
We got you. And so as the blood
Yeah.
constriction flows,
Right.
it's oops, where am I here? It's
Yeah,
gonna
there you go.
stay erect. You'll have the erection, and this goes around the bottom, can go around your testicle seat. And as long as that blood's there, you will stay erect in that way. And
Okay.
it doesn't hurt.
That's what I was
It
gonna
really
ask. How is that comfortable?
it wasn't, I mean, I've never had any, I mean, you see I wear a lot of bracelets anyway,
Okay.
but I've never had anything on that. Let me try it on this arm.
Okay.
I've never tried these on. We'll
So
just
what if your girth is like a
like
finger,
it.
two finger? You know,
Okay,
just being realistic,
then
because
you could put this around your I would say, let's say it's a two
yeah.
finger guy. So this is going to sit for you like this.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yep. So this is just the
Okay.
regular ring. This is going to, I believe, this is going to be the diagnostic ring. It looks like this. It
Oh
comes
wow.
in comes in a box like this. Okay.
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 Pretty packaging.
Really nice packaging.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has a little pouch that comes with it as well.
Okay.
So if you want to travel with it.
Right.
And so
Wow.
now
That one. Mm-hmm.
this looks like this.
Okay.
Okay. And the same. So, but here's the difference in the two.
Mm-hmm.
This one gives you stats on what's happening.
Okay.
Okay. And it has the adapter so you can plug it in from here. You'll put this back on here and it'll start to pick up the information and you can upload it into your computer. It's also Bluetooth enabled. But this is like the difference. And now there is a blue one that goes on tighter. So this is looser.
Mm.
This is tighter. You can wear this for like 5, 6 hours. You don't have to take it off. Whereas with some of the other ones, you have to. But this is like the difference. This is the
That one's
diagnostic.
nice. Yeah.
Okay.
And on that side that's touching, that's keeping contact with your skin, is that's also silicone? Is
Yep.
it
Yep.
comfortable?
It's
Is it
medical grade.
okay? Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's even to the touch. Like if this were touching me, it would not annoy me or bother me. And that's one thing I like. The regular ones come boxed
Mhm.
like this, real easy.
Okay. Gotcha.
And it's in a little box. Let me show you. I haven't shown you guys this in a minute. And you can put it back into its little container.
Okay.
And after you washed it, there
Right.
are various cleaners that are best for this.
Right.
You don't really want to soap and water wash it. And put it back, maintains its shape, put it back in its box. If that's your thing, or just drop it in the drawer next to your nightstand for
Right.
whenever you're ready.
And you said it comes with a little pouch too, right?
Yes, it has a little pouch, a little black pouch
Mm-hmm.
that you can kind of drop it into your carry-on bag if you're traveling. And that will make life a lot easier as you're going through. And
Right.
it won't alarm through TSA either because I've carried these with me to go. Now, I promise a bundle. The pre-order bundle is going to be this. You have your ring. You have, this is called, this is an ultra thick formula. Okay. um, which I'm really the size that I want you to see this size. This is good for if you're stroking someone, getting ready to give head. This is strawberry flavored, so it has a good taste to it. But what I want to offer you guys is the Handy Pop, which comes in this size. So if you're someone who's been giving head a lot and that's your thing, the Sensuva brand is natural and it's organic. So everything that I'm offering you is natural and organic. Um, I also want to offer for those people who have problems with throat action, this is called Relax Love Deeply by Sensuva. It's a throat relaxing spray. So if you want a deep throat, you have that option. And then finally, this is Sliquid, which I love, and it is an uh organic. I'm trying to get in the camera
That's
right.
a good fit right there. Yep.
Yeah,
Organic, natural.
organic natural glide gel. Okay, this is great. So if you are dealing with a couple that's in their 40s or a couple that's in their 50s, this is everything from the Handy Pop to the throat spray to this is the complete package. Now I'm putting one together for This, I'm calling this, this is about him. Okay.
Love it.
This is about him because this doesn't really speak to too much about her. This one, this package is going for together 305. Okay. For I will, however, for those people who are pre picking it up pre-sale, I'm going to drop that down to 195.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect. Okay.
That's a biggie. Now, with this one, this is the um, diagnostic ring. This one retails for 275. Okay. This I'm also putting with the Sliquid and with the Handy Pop. That one is going to be, that one normally is 365. All right. And what I'm going to do with this bundle is I'm going to make that one 300. Okay. This will be 300 with these products. Okay. Okay. So you'll have your Handy Pop, which really enhances any kind of head. You'll have your Sliquid, which makes when you enter her, it'll be fantastic. As well as I said, the Handy Pop and this. So these three items are going to be amazing. Now, the plus with this is you'll be able to take this data to your doctor and say, hey, I've downloaded this for you. You know, you can, or you can leave it on here, take this ring in, and you can download it onto his computer, and he'll have the data on what's happening with your penis. That, any, Karen, you have any questions for me about anything?
Yeah, no, that's interesting. That's a great deal. It's a
Yep.
great bundle. The products are amazing, and the quality of the products. You know, you'll definitely never see anything of that quality. You know, as far as the what is the lube, the strawberry lube called, the Handy Pop,
This is going to be the Handy Pop.
Handy
Right
Pop.
now, you've got the Handy Pop tastes so amazing.
Yeah, it doesn't have
And
that chemical aftertaste. That's that's what I wanted to make sure I point out. And the Sliquid is amazing. It literally feels like
like
you know
silk. It's like silk.
silk. It is so amazing.
It really,
Yeah.
really is.
So
Next week, what I'm going to do is,
oh,
I think,
before you go up to next week, how am I purchasing this? I'm going
oh,
to shop at
you can go down to shop,
shop.
www.shopwinkblinkflirt.com.
Okay.
Okay. And forgive, let me make sure I put that up there because I, yeah,
Shopwinkblinkflirt.com. That's where you're going
yeah.
to.
We're going to come up here. Let me just grab this. So I'm just going to put this as top toys to have at home. And I'm going to save this and give you guys this. So you'll be able to see shopwinkblinkflirt.com. You can also DM me on either at winkblinkflirt or at the Pleasure Collection on Instagram if there's something. And right now we're in pre-order, so the prices are going to go up. Uh, uh, I'm giving this from today is the what? Today's the 27th.
27. Mhm.
So until I think we'll do the pre-sale until the 17th. And then I'm going to reconfigure what the packaging is. But I really wanted something to make it easy for her, for him, and for her. And
Right.
this will kind of prevent any discouraging the the erection. What I may do is I think I'm going to leave it at this with these two. As we
Okay.
come up on end of Octoberish or so, I'll put together another bundle with this that will be interesting and appealing to everybody concerned. Okay.
That
Hey
sounds
guys,
good.
this has been great tonight. I appreciate Karen, you as always being here, and I appreciate the opportunities to share kind of the insights coming on the end of Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. If you have someone in your life, you have a man in your life who's struggling with frequent urination, he's dealing with any form of ED. He's dealing with any kind of blood in his urine or blood in his semen. If he is just basically having a hard time with erection or pain in his pelvic area, get him to
Get
a
him to the
doctor.
doctor.
Get him
Right.
to a doctor. And it's like, I forgot who said this. I think it was Anitris who I was talking to earlier. She was saying that's part of the reason why a lot of men end up with this stage 3, stage 4
Mhm.
prostate cancer, because they ignore the signs that their body's giving
Right.
them.
Absolutely.
Ladies, listen and watch and pay
Mhm.
attention to what's happening with him. I don't know what my hair's doing this today. Um, pay attention to
Yeah.
him. Pay attention to what's happening and don't just dismiss it always as an
Right.
age thing. Okay. I am Wink, Blink, and Flirt, and I have here my favorite. Come along, go with me, Karen Hankins, and we'll be back next week with another topic, with another guest. Next week, what are we talking about next week? Next week, we're going
Ah,
to be
yeah.
talking. What are we talking about next week? Next week is October, Karen.
Oh wow. Already.
Already. Next
Already.
week, next week's topic, we're going to be talking about what will make you, or what it takes to make you a super freak. What will
Ooh.
make you a super freak? That's going to be an interesting conversation. Oh my God.
Absolutely.
I can't remember
Okay.
who the guest is on that one, but that's what we're talking about. Anywho, thanks so much. I
All
appreciate you
right.
guys.
Had a
Um,
ball. Bye everyone.
bye. Have a great week. See you. Bye. If you're not going to be good, at least be good at it.